in 5, 4. Hey, what's up? I'm SM SithLord. This is the Somnium Space build stream every week right here, Friday mornings. Getting a little bit of a late start now, but let's hit the ground running. What I'm going to be doing is, so the building that the city center that I started last episode, where I had the cool Windows shader that looked like it was 3D. That's a cool shader, and I'll make use of that. But that whole area that I had planned out there was too large to do a good light baking on. I would have to do low resolution stuff if I was going to bake the light there. So what I'm going to do right now, in the about hour 20, hour 30 that I have in this stream left, I'm going to be creating a new scene. It's going to be a smaller one-room thing, but I'm going to go through the entire process and bake the lighting and do the UV unwrapping and all that. And I'll have that hopefully completely done by the end of the stream and in a web world soon after, if not by then. So let's get going. I'm in 3ds Max right now, but I'm going to be making a GLB or an FBX, depending on which one exports better for me, and putting that into the webworld's SDK, the Somnium Space webworld's SDK that is in the Play Canvas engine. So I'm in 3ds Max right here. I looked up some reference pictures of a bunch of metaverse rooms, future rooms, voxel style, just random stuff I was searching for to get ideas. I'm going to take inspiration from these, and I'm going to do most of the work in 3ds Max, and then it's going to all come together in the Play Canvas editor, where I'm going to put the model with a skybox around it and make it so you can walk around and hang out in there. So let's do it. Let's get to clicking. Customize unit setup. We're already in meters. You want to make sure that you're using the correct units so your thing is not out of scale when you import it to wherever you're going. And the Play Canvas engine uses meters. It can use centimeters too, as long as the file format that you export at specifies its unit. Not all of the formats do. Save. No, we're good to go. I just start building because we're in the right units. Okay, I'm gonna box these things out. I'm gonna be using Boolean operations, but I need to know what scale to make everything. So let me go to an extended capsule, and I'll make a capsule here. Gordon Pillman, a pill, which we will make orange, like Gordon. Gordon is orange. 1.88 is hero height in meters, and then that in meters is the size of the person. Okay. Centimeters might make more sense for me, but I'll just stick to meters. I've been making everything meters lately. Meters are good when you're doing a large scale thing like a town, city center, or a whole town. But if you were like a town square, if you're doing a small thing like a single room, then, or like a boot or a shoe, you know, you don't want to have to use tiny numbers, because then you start losing units of precision when it starts rounding the numbers off after so many zeros in the sliders and everything. So you can't just, it's not a good idea to just always use meters like I'm about to do right now, but I'm about to do it right now just because I just want everything to be consistent, and it's just how I've been doing things lately. So let's get the, so there's the size of the person. Then I'm gonna make a box. This. That box is way too big. Okay, so here's how we're thinking when we're doing Boolean operations. I want a lot of overhang, so I'll make it this thing like this. Okay. I'm just trying to visualize this. Doing stable diffusion in my mind. Doing human diffusion. So it's going to be based on other stuff. What's going to be in the middle? It's going to be like a pond or something. I'm going to have the steps. I'm going to have the windows. Those are going to be the main features. Also the windows on the side. It's kind of like just be a hallway. So I'll put some doors there and there that will go nowhere. And then I'll have a screen. It'll be like a movie theater. A theater. When in doubt, make a theater. Because then I could put a video in here against this wall and actually hang out here. Okay. So it's a theater. Windows on the far wall. Windows on the side. Lots of natural light coming in. Some kind of sunken floor here. Stairs on this end and the elevated viewing thing here. 2 doors that go nowhere and a big screen over here. That's it. Okay, so to do all that, that'll be easy. I got that burned in my head now. But now what are the details in this? Where are all the vertices going to be? I'm sorry for just circling a box while I'm talking about what I'm thinking. But just a bit more. We got the wall here. We got the steps going in. And this thing is over there. With the walls, so we got some kind of wall thing. Yeah, that could look cool. And then, I don't want to be too complicated though, so it'll be boxy. Yeah, okay, it could be boxy, but round stuff looks better. So, it should be round. How rounded? Well, originally I was thinking it could be round like that and like that. And then there could be that going to the center point right there. Mm-hmm. Here. Okay, let's do it. Using booleans, we're going to just be making some more boxes. I was thinking of making this round, but I might not. I might make it more boxy. Don't want this to be too high. I do want it to be pretty high. No, that's no good. These things should be bigger. Few more steps. Yeah, let's keep it going. I could have made this faster, I'm sure. But I'm already here. So I won't get caught up in the technique. I'll just brute force this and get it, those steps all the way down. Okay, there's a bunch of steps. My thing's going to look a lot more not as spacey as I was thinking earlier. Usually I'm making a lot of curved things, and for some reason, I think because I have the Boolean in mind, I'm making a lot of boxy things. I don't know. Let's see how this turns out. The curved stuff probably looks better with the light base. So maybe I'll have a bunch of boxy stuff and then some curved stuff. Yeah. Okay, well the stairs, these are definitely boxy. We'll roll with that though. Let's get the walls in. Am I going to do boxy walls? Yeah, I think that I am. And I'll just see how I'll let the light bait carry it. Yeah. see how this goes. If this is like this. Alright, let's start subtracting things now. Yep. Let's start with this thing. Well, I guess first of all, I'll do this one. This is going to be a compound. We're going to start pro-boolean, start picking with a union. We're going to union all these things together. Alright, now that those are one piece, we'll union all this other stuff together. Okay, now this is a mesh that doesn't have the inside things here, the inside pieces. Now I can clip it to get the edges looking the way that I want. Probably just use another view for this. Yeah, there we go. Clip to here. Yeah. So this one I'm going to do a copy subtraction there. Okay, now it's not so insane. Ooh, it's still a little insane. Let's fix that. I forgot to clip the top and the bottom. Okay. Alright, now I have a square room with some stairs in it. That's all cleanly merged together. And now I'm going to drop some lights into it, cut some holes into it, and see how it goes. I think I might leave the outside on it. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so in here, what do we got? Is it time to start putting a light? No, it's time to start cutting holes in this thing. Yeah, let's do that. Some more Boolean shapes. Yeah, okay. All right, and let's see how this goes when I tell it that I want to subtract. Not bad. Okay, so we got this little shape going on here. Oh yeah, there's going to be a skybox around the outside that looks pretty cool. I got to keep that in mind. So I do want lots of windows. I do want a screen over here though, so let's add some stuff for that. And then my fake doors. So, oh wait, and the windows against this wall. So let's add the windows against that back wall. Let me make it a round window. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. That's a window. That'll just show the stars. Okay, so far so good. I wanted some kind of sunken floor thing too. Well, I haven't saved it at all yet. Let's save it. I'm just gonna call it Baked Theater. Baked Theater. Not very creative with the naming there. I need to get to clicking though, and I can't get too extravagant with all this because I'm trying to get the whole thing done. So here's a cool shape. Let's get the sunken floor into there, the fake door holes there, and then I'll just get to baking. Okay. The sunken floor should be like this. Now I can't sink it too far because then it'll stick out the bottom, so I'll sink it that far. That's probably too far. Go like that. It doesn't need to be so big. It can be smaller. Do I want that floor? That hole in that floor? I don't know that I do. Let me think that through there. I don't think that I want that floor, that hole in the floor. But what I do want is a place to put the screen on the wall, and then I could position some lights, and we can get to baking this and go through those steps. Thinking here. I'm thinking of light sources. Let's get the fake doors in. Then I'll think of light sources. Let's get some light sources in here. A colorful nebula of stars, but I'm going to choose nebula as a style guide, so I probably didn't need to say it again there. Okay, I wanted to get that cooking because that might take a while. They're real busy there. They said it could take up to 2 minutes for it to finish creating that thing for me. So while I'm creating the skybox, which I'm going to be using to light this stuff, I'm also going to drop in some Arnold lights, such as this plane. Now the lighting is going to look weird on the stream. It'll look like it's buffering, but that's just how Arnold Renderer works. You're probably used to it if you use Blender. It just looks blurry because it's trying to quickly show you a preview without having to render the whole thing out. But look how nice the lighting can look in here. We're going to have light coming in through the windows too after that skybox gets put in here. But this light is the light that's going to be behind the screen. Let's see. Let's make this light emit from the wall towards the screen from behind. Right there. That's the sweet spot. Okay. Now, so that's like the backlight to the thing. So let's make it not so bright. Because that's going to be combined with some other light in the room. So let's add a second light. Unlike real-time lighting, I don't have to be concerned about how lights I add, other than render time. I just need to make sure that it looks good. So these lights down here, I want to be lighting the ground. Yeah. I need an environment light. Yeah, there we go. There's my nebula. I'll generate one more. Hey, this is already looking pretty good. And after I drop the skybox in there, it's going to be lighting with the colors of the skybox, which is real good. So I only need a couple more lights, it looks like. Let's see here. I want the screen itself, the wall, is going to have a web tab on it. So I want it to look like it's emitting light. And it could be emitting colored light. It could be emitting blue. So there's going to be like purple and blue light coming in through the windows. The screen could be emitting orange. So then there's purple and orange. Those are colors that work together. Or it could be a different hue of blue, or maybe there'll be more purple coming in the blue, and that could be emitting the blue. Let's do that. The screen's going to be emitting a little bit of blue. How come I don't see blue? How come I don't see blue? That's the question. Okay, let's get a material on everything also. GLTF material. I'll just call it walls. Okay, well, let's get this image in here. I think that first one was better. I got a bunch of skyboxes somewhere recently. That's what I'm looking for right now. Would they be in downloads? No. Would they? Where did I put these things? High-res food pack. That's pretty cool, but do I want to be in space? Do I want to be in space? I could be there. No, I do want to be in space. Oh. Okay, I'm going to use this one. So, I got to process this real quick. How am I doing on time? Doesn't matter, I got to go fast. And I need to open up. Something that I have over here in Jedi archives. Material library, skyboxes. I got this template here. This is cooler than the one that I made. I should just use this one. It looks like it's already ready to go. Yeah, let's use that one. Do I need to rotate them at all? I'm not sure. We shall see. No, I gotta use mine. Okay, let's get this texture set up here. It's using a texture instead of no map. I'm gonna give it a bitmap. And the bitmap is going to be from my download folder. Okay, that didn't add too much color there, did it? It didn't, but it did light it with the environment. Why is it so dark? Interesting. Oh, should I be expecting it to be so dark? Rendering environment. Yeah, probably until I do this. Okay, once I get a skybox that I'm happy with, I'm ready to convert it. This skybox I'm not very happy with. Let me see if I can find these other skyboxes in my folder that I was talking about. Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to find these. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll put them in the Jedi Archives. Nope. Well, that's a pretty cool one, but that's not even a fancy one, man. I don't like the nebulas. What else do they have? Realistic. How about high atmosphere orbit around a sunset? Okay, other than the environment light, I need to figure out why my other Arnold light wasn't showing up. I might just need to close the project and reopen it. It could be as simple as that. Oh no, there, now it's showing up. Cool, and it's getting my colors too. Whoa, cool. This looks wonderful. I'm stressing out about the skybox, but I probably shouldn't be. I should just get the lighting done using these things, the actual lights, and not depend so much on the HDR stuff. Okay, so this is looking good. It's a little bit over bright down there on the bottom. Looks a little better. Okay, so let's get one of these over on the other side and then call it a bake, perhaps. How's that look? That could look pretty good. This is going to get that stuff worked out. Okay, and let's get some pinks in here too. I'm not going to stress about realistic light sources right now because I need to get the bake out. I got baking to do still. And time is ticking away with that skybox. Okay, that's something. Looks good for a light bake demo. Okay, yeah, let's roll with it. This, not going to worry about that. The sky that I'm going to use, I'm going to process it because it is going to be that one that I had prepared. Wait a second, don't I have another interesting... I gotta have some skyboxes laying around that I made in the past that I'm just forgetting about. Here we go, here's a city sky. I want city skies. There's clouds. I don't want to be in the clouds. I want to be in space. I don't think that I made very many space skyboxes. I like this one. Okay. That's the one that I'm going to be using. Okay, that's getting a little better. I also got to go over here and process this thing real quickly as I can. That wasn't it, because I have to go first. So I have a 360 image here that I want to turn into a cube map. So I went to this site. I just searched for HDRI to cube map. This really good site comes up. There's others. This is a good one. And then I just drop my image in there. I tell it what I want forward to be. Back to be forward. And then I click cube map. Save pin24 in this format. Because I'm going to process it a little bit more after I download it. Okay, then I just got one more step of processing on it. I don't remember how these need to be rotated, so I do need to go to that happen view. So I need to rotate some of these things, but it's easy to do when you can see buildings, but when it's a nebula, I don't know what I need to rotate and what doesn't need to rotate. So I need to use this guide here that I don't even have documented for Play Canvas, do I? Oh man, I don't have time for this. I'm going to do it anyways. Let's figure it out. All right. I'm probably going to go over time here because I'm going to have to upload these images a couple times to get the rotations correctly on them. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to import a project. So I'm going to make a fresh webworld SDK project right now. If I can find, there it is. I saw it a second ago. It was under W, web world. There you go, the template. So I upload the template that I got from the Somnium Web GitLab. And let's get the bake done because it's looking like I'm not going to be able to get this done all in this session here. So I'll probably have to wrap this up in the next session. But the light baking is looking good here. Yeah, I'll focus on this part instead of trying to get the skybox. So let's get the model out, and then I'll put the model in the scene next time. Because there's still several steps that we have to do on the model here that have nothing to do with the skybox. So let's focus on those. Sure. The first thing is the UV mapping and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to make a backup copy of this, and I'm going to start processing this thing. After my lighting's done, and after let's say that this is exactly how I want the model to be. Now I did this just 2 hours, so it was a real condensed kind of thing. But let's say that this is exactly how I want the model to be. Now I'm going to start decimating it so I can optimally bake the light map to it and that kind of stuff. Here's what I mean by decimating it. I'm going to convert it to a poly, and I'm going to break some parts off of it. All of these outside parts, I'm going to break off of it, but I'm not going to delete them. I can't delete them because they impact lighting. They're what casts shadows. These are the exterior surfaces. So while I can't delete them, I can detach them because they don't need to take up UV space on what I'm about to do next. So now I got the outside shell detached from the inside shell. The outside shell is actually not going to be exported, but I need it for lighting purposes. The inside shell is almost ready, but it needs to be UV unwrapped. Now let's hope that this goes smoothly. First, I want to process this thing a little bit. Yeah, the screen, editable poly. I want to do the same thing to the screen, where it has this rear surface. I don't want to delete it, but I want to detach it. Because it doesn't need to be included in the final export either. Okay, so now I have a model that has just the stuff that I care about in it, the interior, and I'm ready to unwrap it and bake it. Wonderful. So let's try. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to do this super fast way, super easy way. We're gonna go and we're gonna do a UV unwrap. Open the UV editor here, and I'm going to do an unfold mapping. It's going to shred everything. Oh, I didn't have everything selected, so it did nothing. Okay. And I crashed it. Did I save it? I'm pretty sure I saved it. So I'm going to have to relaunch 3ds Max there. Try it again. Yeah, and selecting everything and unwrapping it is probably not good. And you know, because I used primitives, I probably don't need to even worry about the unwrap. I'm going to try, after this loads back in, I'm going to try not doing another unwrap and just arranging the islands on the UV map that it has. Excuse me. And this could work out well. Maybe it won't work out well. We will soon see once I get in here. I'm not keeping up with the chat today, by the way. I apologize for that because I got started in such a hurry that I didn't have all my windows open. Open recent here. Big theater. Now, is this before I detach the outside and the inside? Okay, the outside is detached. I'll look back at the screen. Okay, so this is perfect. All right. Let's get back to what I was doing with this thing over here. UVW unwrap. No, not that. UVW unwrap. We're going to select everything and we're going to click this cool button down here for auto arrange elements. That's pretty good what it did there. Maybe you could do better though. All right, let's go with that one. And is this going to work out perfectly for us? It might. I'm just thinking here. Probably not. I probably need to unpeel. So save that. There. It's all bad. That's all bad. It's okay. I saved a backup. Looking recent. So there is no shortcut to not having to UV unwrap at all. Oh, I see that I need to do something still. Merge all these things and we're going to attach that. Now that's attached. So now this, all that goes. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let's do the bake. Let's do the bake. So now, when I look at the UV, I do have to do the clusters again. Okay, let's try to bake onto these. I could automatically flatten too. Maybe I will end up doing that. But we got a lot of good stuff going with the lights already. I'm gonna just bake what I have. I need to set up the bake. So I'm gonna call this thing Space Theater or Bake Theater. I'll just call it Theater. And now let's set up the bake, which is a render to texture. Baked texture. Now I'm going to add a beauty map. It's the only thing I need to add because I'm not going to have normals or anything on this. And this is going to make it pretty optimal too. For the beauty map, I'm going to make it 2048. I'm not going to have this thing rendered out in time, I bet. So let's do a smaller one to show. Let's say that we're doing that size. And then over here, where am I saving it to? I'll just save it to the desktop as Theater Beauty. And we're good. And now I'm going to click bake. And it's going to render out at 1024, so it probably won't be too insane. As far as render times can get nuts. There's a lot of settings that you could adjust so the render times don't get too nuts. However, usually the longer it takes to, it's not linear or anything, but the longer it takes to render, the better the render is, up to a certain point. So this is why I'm sure that I'm not going to be able to get this bake done on the stream right now, because it's going to be baking for like 30, 40 minutes. And I can't just sit here streaming dead air for that time. So that's why I'm doing a low resolution bake here. This is a 1024 by 1024 bake. The final bake that I do will be 2K, that's 2048 by 2048. But I should be able to go through the whole process with this. Another thing, so this is going to be like a work in progress bake, a development bake. You don't want to do too many of those, because the baking process, how I decimated the model, I detached things and did all that kind of stuff. You'd have to redo that again after you made changes to the model. So you don't want, you want it to be almost done when you start baking. I mean, it's good to do a couple test bakes, but like early on to make sure that you're able to achieve the kind of output you're looking for. But don't want to do too many throwaway bakes like I just did, and I'm about to demonstrate here. So save as. And it's a throwaway bake because I need to change the settings. It's going to have a lot of little grainy specks everywhere. To make those go away, I just have to let it render for a lot longer, which I'm not going to do right now. So on my GLTF material, I'm going to make a new GLTF. It's going to be baked walls, is what I'll call this one. GF to me of material called baked walls. Down here. I am going to grab my texture. And I'll put it on. Okay, now when I assign it to this, I can delete everything else in my scene except for that. It's not supposed to appear white. That's actually a render bug. How do I fix this? I think I just close it and reopen it. I might. There. You'll see that it has the lighting baked onto it. Isn't that wonderful? Also, I deleted the shell because the shell's not needed. So this is hyper optimized. It doesn't look very good right now, but after I redo the bake, it can look as good as it did while I was doing the render in Arnold. But it barely has any vertices, and it's only one room, so I could go even larger with the light bake. Now, when you're doing one room, you can get away with using textures in your bake because you can use the resolution to do it. Here's what I'm trying to get around to. You can't use tiled textures and baked light under normal circumstances. You can actually do it, but you got to do it a very specific way depending on where you're trying to get your model, and it's even more complex. So when you're doing a regular GLTF bake, with one UV channel, then you need to it's best if you use solid color textures, because the solid color textures, it makes it harder to see that there isn't any actual detail in the texture. So we use a solid color. You can't tell that the lines in the tile are crunched or something like that from the compression, because you are going to be pretty low resolution if you're targeting web. This isn't looking correct. You see how there's shadows? There shouldn't be shadows. This should be both the emission and the diffuse, but I don't know why it's going so overboard on the emission. Should not be doing that. Okay, well, I don't need to export this thing right now because, well, yeah, but let's Let's export it. I'm going to put this thing on emission and put this to 0 because this is how it should be. I don't know why it's not rendering correctly in the view here. And then when I export this, we're going to view it in a GLTF viewer. That's what we'll do. So we're not going to get it on the parcel in the next 10 minutes, but we are going to be able to examine it over here. Export selected. GLTF.report is a good place to go and test your GLBs at. I exported it as an FBX. Oops. Export selected as a GLB. Baked Theater. Export. I told it to include the textures too. And there we go. Yeah. Now, even with that low resolution, super quick, non-ideal bake, there are no lights happening in this scene right now. This could run on a potato, this scene here. It is barely any vertices. The texture resolution is tiny. I think it was 1024 for this one. Now, even with 1024, you can make it look a lot better. Like when I go in there and I adjust the settings, it's going to take like an hour to render, but it's not going to be higher resolution. It's just going to be a much, much cleaner image. So all of those little specks on the wall would go away, and the 2048 resolution is actually, or 1024, could be quite enough for this room because of what I just mentioned earlier about the solid color textures. Since I used everything as just white, then you're not going to be able to tell that the resolution is actually pretty low. It'll just look real cool because you'll be looking at the colors instead. And yeah, this looks good. I was a little depressed a moment ago. I was like, oh man, this isn't looking as cool as I was hoping. But now when I see it actually, the GLB dropped into a web viewer, it doesn't look bad. I mean, the architecture could go with the 2.0 overhaul there, but the light bake is good. So in the last few minutes here, I'm going to adjust the settings to prepare for the big light bake, which I'll be doing off stream after I conclude the stream. So what is that? Let's go. I have to revert now. This is why you shouldn't do too many bakes, too many test bakes, because I got to go and back to this version, which still has my lights and everything in it. And it's UV unwrapped, it's ready to get baked, but I'm gonna adjust my light settings. Yeah. So I have to increase, remember here, it was the samples. I gotta increase the samples up to 8. Was it 8 here? I think it was 8. The higher the samples, the better the lighting results are gonna be, but the longer the rendering times will be. Like most radiosity engines. Okay, let's see how this looks. When I save this and I redo my light bake. $2048. Now let's just do another 1024 one. I will do the 2048, but afterwards. Okay, so on this one, It's going to take longer to render, and it might do the duration because there's only like 5 minutes left in the stream. But it should have far less artifacts, even at this resolution. And I might keep it at this resolution if it turns out good enough. Find this thing. Oh no, there it is right there. Okay, so here's the old one. I'm looking at the old one over here. The new one is on the right. I can already tell that I gotta crank my settings up more. Everything that I set to 4, I gotta set up to like 16. And everything, I gotta like double the amount that I cranked everything up. But I think it's getting better. Did I accidentally turn up the intensity on something? I think that I did. Let me cancel out of this render, and I think that I screwed up. For this thing, I might have changed the intensity instead. No, its samples are up there at 8. Samples are 8. Okay. So, looks good. I'm not going to go through doing that additional test render because it's not going to be that much better than this one until I crank those numbers up and let it do its thing. But that's going to be the conclusion of the stream for today. The final steps here of the bake that was the whole purpose, because a lot of people ask me questions about optimization, and the best way to optimize, the reason that you have to do baking is because well, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why baking is optimized, but you do not want real-time lights. Lights are killer on performance, especially on phones and stuff like that. Having one, you do need 1 or 2 lights, at least to light up the avatars that are walking around. But besides that, you want, if you're targeting mobile, you literally want to have no lights at all. And the only way that you're going to do that is well, there's a couple ways actually. You can be really creative with your design and make it so everything is like glowing. Then you don't need very many lights. Or you're going to bake the lighting like this. So it is a complex process. But after you get the hang of it, it's very, very valuable to be able to create good rooms that run on potato phones or standalone VR headsets and stuff like that. Yeah, baking, and use colors, and use curved surfaces. Curved surfaces are impressive seeing them lit. And the corners aren't that bad here too. After I get the resolution and everything figured out, the corners look pretty nice seeing the light reflecting off of it. It's just pleasing. Lighting is pleasing. You don't want to do no lights. You want to have baked lights, or you want to have baked lights or real-time lights. Some kind of lighting. Lighting is super important. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I thought things were getting derailed at the end there. I didn't get it all finished within this one stream, but it came together. I just got to fix out my bake, and then I'll throw some glass in there in the skybox. I'll do that next session and get it all in the Play Canvas SDK in the webworlds template here that I actually have open on my other monitor. And that'll be next time. So, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you then. Have a great weekend.